Thank you, Brian. Okay, welcome back. Alright, let's get to listening.
The government calls Cassandra Ventura.
No, I still
want to talk. This is the first time since 2018 that Cassie and Sean Combs are seeing each other face to face. Out of one of the double doors from behind where we're sitting, the door opens and in walks Cassie. She's wearing the long brown dress that you've probably seen pictures of her in already, and there is so much tension in that moment. The main thing that I oddly recall in what I wrote
Nick, thanks for letting me know.
Yes, I'm like visually seeing everything, and I'm visually like trying to analyze everybody's faces, but for some reason the only thing that stands out in my recollection of that moment and my memory is that I could be... It's the noise, like the sound of the door opening and the sound of her walking on the carpet, because I felt like it was that quiet.
Wow.
It was just so intense. She does not look at anyone when she walks in. She keeps her eyes glued to the front, but it's not like she's holding her chin down. She's not looking down. Her shoulders are back. Her stomach is like 2 watermelons. I mean, she's heavily pregnant. I don't even know how she's walking and not waddling.
She's like, what, 8.5 months?
Yeah. Additionally, when she sits at the witness stand, she has to lean in at times to speak into the microphone, which I'm sure just cannot be comfortable. She walks in, sits at the witness stand, and Combs, from my perception, is statuesque. And maybe it's in my head, but he feels more frozen than normal. And it doesn't even feel intentional. Because I think previously it felt like, it seems like he's trying to not give reactions. He's trying to be as still as possible, but this feels very naturally still. And when she walks in, like the whole time that she's walking down the aisle past us, like everybody's body is pivoting towards Cassie as she's walking. So our whole bodies are moving with her. Same as Sean Combs. He's watching her walk down the entire length of the courtroom. She does not look at him. And she sits down, and I obviously listened to a ton of interviews of Cassie when I was doing like my 8-hour Did He Arrest series last year. Her voice was raspier when she was younger. Perhaps it was her environment.
I know, like, there's a recipe of restraint that I keep when I do a record.
Her voice is actually really soft, which I know some people are gonna be like, oh my god, she's faking it, but it didn't feel like that. She didn't sound like she was trying to sound meek and like so soft. It just sounded like she was very calm initially. Nervous, but calm. And I wrote down in my notes, because I heard, which we're not supposed to be talking in the courtroom. We're not supposed to be responding to evidence. We're not supposed to be having any sort of conversations. But I do hear someone whisper behind me, she's so beautiful. Prosecutor Johnson, who does the opening statement, she takes the podium right next to the jurors. She's blonde. It's a bob. I love it. She looks good. She looks at Cassie. And I will say the two of them, I'm sure they've seen each other countless times by this point, and again, maybe I'm overthinking things, but I thought maybe this is why Johnson did the opening statement, because when I was doing that recap episode for you guys, I like shortened and condensed that opening statement and like pulled the parts that I felt were the most emotional, but in the courtroom, I think it was like an hour long of an opening statement, and the cadence was a lot slower. So there were a lot of people that were in the courtroom that were slightly confused on why she was the one that did the opening statement, but that day I'm like, okay, maybe this is why. Because the way I interpreted it, Cassie is looking at Prosecutor Johnson, and she looks very safe looking at her. She's not really looking at many other people. She's either looking at Prosecutor Johnson or her family, who is right behind Prosecutor Johnson, sitting in the pews, and then I'm like right behind them. So, I mean, not that she's looking at me, but you get it. Like, I'm just giving you an idea of where we are. And she doesn't she just stares at Prosecutor Johnson, and she looks like she's more at ease when she's looking at her. So she keeps leaning in to talk into the microphone, very pregnant. At a sidebar, lead prosecutor Comey even brings up to the judge, this witness is very, very pregnant. We are afraid she could have the baby over the weekend. We want her off the stand before the weekend. So it's that big of an issue. At times, Cassie's kind of supporting her belly. She doesn't really try to draw attention to the fact that she's pregnant. She's not like rubbing her belly, trying to gain sympathy. Not that I think that's a thing that someone would do, but she just
Stephanie Rottenmingo.
She's like trying to move, put her hands under her belly to maybe support it up, or put her hands on her hips. There's a box of tissues next to her.
And how many hours you said she was sitting there in that position?
I mean, it's like
hours at a time.
So it's the jurors come in. Judge Arun really tries to do 9:30 to 5. It's like a 30-minute lunch and then maybe a handful of 10-minute breaks, like maybe 3 10-minute breaks.
And she's sitting on this wooden bench for the majority of the day.
Well, I think it has some cushions, that one.
Oh, okay.
But still very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable and very cold. Everyone in the courtroom is cold, and she looked cold as well. And it's just so silent. You can hear the sketch artist just like furiously drawing on their little posters. Through Cassie, the jury learns that she is 38 years old now. She was in an on and off relationship with Combs for a little over 11 years. She ends up signing to his label, Bad Boy Records, which
she's
notably,
30.
if you remember Notorious Big, Biggie was signed with Bad Boy Records before his murder. We're gonna get there. Cassie states that she signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records. She releases one album in 2006 and then never releases another album again. Furthermore, Cassie states that she was in a platonic friendship with Combs when she signed him, and it wasn't until her 21st birthday that things start getting intimate. Side note, they are 17 years apart. Regardless, she says they go to Vegas to celebrate her 21st birthday, and that's when she's explaining, he kissed me in the bathroom of his actual suite pretty early in the morning. We had been up, all of us, pretty late. And that's kind of how she is for majority of her testimony. She looks very genuine in her thought, is the perception that I had. And obviously, I think I went in with biases, but she just, when she's asked a question, she looks like she's getting into that moment. She's like lost in that moment. It doesn't seem like she's stuttering of like, oh, I don't know, actually. It just seems like she's in that moment and just trying to say, yeah, that's what happened, basically. That was kind of her energy throughout. She says that she was really confused whilst Combe is just like
he is hella
down
guilty,
notes.
Brian.
So there's like a few different modes that Sean Combs took during Cassie's testimony. He's either very stoic, very statuesque, or there are moments where it feels like he's intensely staring at her.
Everybody
he could
left,
be staring at the evidence screen intensely. He could be staring at the judge intensely. But it did feel like he was staring at her intensely at certain points. Or he's like just scribbling notes. Because, I mean, they're preparing for their cross-examination. So everything she says right now is very important for the defense team. And I thought it was very interesting because Mark Agnifilo, the lead attorney, he's taken a lot of notes. But Sean Combs is taking a lot of notes. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, that makes sense because he doesn't strike me as the type of person that will let the lawyers just do their jobs. He strikes me as the type of person that is trying to be an equal part of the team, that is giving his input, that's giving his advice on the strategies. And Mark Agnifilo, he's also two modes throughout all of this. He's either like furiously writing on his legal pad, or he's like leaned back in his chair like he's watching a movie. Like, it's two modes. It's either, like, just passively viewing or just furiously taking notes. I think I was just really confused at the time.
Everybody really has left.
Young new artists, like, just really didn't know the lay of the land when it came to things like that.
Guys, let's just start another live. Oh, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start another live stream. Maybe not. Hold on. Let's see what happens. That's what I'm saying, Brian. I think I'm going to restart again, but I think I'm going to... not play the true crime stuff until people get in here, because that when people come in and it's already playing, they don't really want to listen. So alright guys, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna restart. Come to the new one. I'm restarting right away, so just come right on over. Okay, I'm restarting.